I want to help people. I don't want to see one hurt or abused. That's my main part of life. I don't care who they are. That depression, that POW camp, they've taught me a lot. That put things in my mind and heart to help others. That's the way I feel. I always remember I was scared to death of a height. I'd walk across the bridge and hold a rail, and yet I wound up in the Air Corps. Well, on approach to target, I spotted a FW-190 Focke-Wulf, and as I was tracking this plane, we had an explosion up in front of the aircraft, which I didn't pay attention because my mind was on that airplane. Next thing I know, the left waist gunner was standing at the door waving frantically his arms at me to get my attention. I looked up there and I turned around, I like froze. I saw nothing but a boil of fire coming out of the bay into the radio room, and 100-octane gasoline in those wings, you know, so we're in trouble. Finally he jumped and I went right behind him as fast as I could. 2, 3, 4 more seconds, I don't believe I'd have lived. I'd been gone to sleep from lack of oxygen. And I fell, I judged 15 to 20,000 feet before I came to. And when I did, I was tumbling through the sky, seeing the sky and the ground. I finally got myself on my back. And I pulled a ripcord and I watched the pilot chute come out straight up ahead of me. And then the main chute came out, a big boom. I think you're falling about 120 miles an hour. So it was a pretty good jolt. Finally, two men come up in an ox cart. They turned me up a little road up an incline, and there's a brick building sitting up on this little hill. And above the wide door was a swastika about 3 foot in diameter, and I knew I was finished then. My war's over. Freedom, freedom. It's not free. I said it began back in Washington's time in this country, and it's still going. If we want freedom, we have to fight for it. If you're not free, you're not living.
Went to high school at Topeka High, and I was a mid-termer, and I graduated towards the end of February 1944. I graduated on a Friday, and by the next Monday, I was being drafted, and I was at Fort Leavenworth being inducted into the Army. They loaded us on the trucks and started moving us towards where the action was in Belgium and all. And we spent quite a few nights, probably 2 or 3 nights in the trucks. One of the things that was very obvious, it's going to be a cold, rainy, snowy winter. I was a rifleman and a bazooka man. You know, occasionally you would get the word to shoot, fire over there, stir things up, which was about all our purpose in life was. On the night of December 16th, we could sense a little more activity, a little more artillery barrages, and we were told to get ready to retreat, to move out and go back, move away from the lines. I can still see visually the German had the gun shooting it around the corner, and I can see that, and the guy next to me was hit. And that's when we all realized we were overwhelmed and we gave up. And so that was our capture. And the next day, they took us out and started marching us. And we had heard all these stories about prisoners of war being shot. It was true stories. And we were marching out. There was an embankment of sandbags and all. We could see ourselves lined up on that embankment and being mowed down. But fortunately, we kept on marching by that. It's a fairly small little town, but they had a prison camp there called 13C. I was given the opportunity to write a letter in prison camp in Hammelburg by the Red Cross involved, and I sent a letter home. And they heard about me being a prisoner of war from me before it was officially notified that I was a prisoner of war. As the Americans got closer and closer, the Guards decided, it's about over. So on the 28th of April, they decided that was it, and they put up white flags in this little house. I think the Guards were as happy as we were to be able to quit this thing. I'm most proud of the fact that I managed to come through some horrible situations. Not that I was contributing anything while I was a prisoner of war, but the fact that I came through it all right, in good shape, and did what I was asked to do. The phrase that we all use, that freedom is not free, and it took a lot of sacrifices by many, many people in both the services and on the home front.
Charles Siebert was a member of the United States Army Air Corps in World War II. Stationed in the European theater as a B-17 tail gunner, Charles became a prisoner of war at the age of 19 when his plane was shot down. Of this incident and his life as a POW, Charles says,
I was shot down on October 14, 1943, while on a bombing mission over Schweinfurt, Germany. Captured as soon as I hit the ground, they took me to Dalag in Frankfurt, Germany, and put me in solitary confinement. They imprisoned me in Stalag 17B. Life was not pleasant in 17B. We slept on wooden bunks with a mattress filled with straw. Food was not plentiful. We had no heat in the winter, so we slept with our clothes on to keep warm. Our water was turned off most of the time, so we couldn't keep clean. We were full of lice. In April 1945, we were marched from Krems to Braunau, Austria, where they kept us in the woods. On the march, we had little food, and we had slept in the open or in barns along the way. We were on the road about 18 days. On May 3, 1945, General Patton's Third Army liberated us.
Everybody at my age is supposed to report to the local recruiting places. So I went down there and and they says, "You're the sole support of a family?" Yeah, so on. "Okay, we'll let you know." So that was it, and I didn't hear anymore. Then the manager's son at Minneapolis Moline, where I was working then, he was admitted to flying school. Well, I told Mother that's what I want to do. She says, "Well, your day will come." Well, the next thing you know, give me orders to go to aviation cadets. Wow, that's sent my spirit way up. Well, aviation cadets meant engineers, pilots, co-pilots, etc. So I wasn't going to be a pilot right away. One morning I got called up with 11 other guys out of 400 at our basic training. 3 of us were going to go to navigation school because we had high scores. And I said, "What about flying?" He says, "Well, you'll get into the flying plane, but you're going to take navigator training first." Had 9 months of training before I was qualified and given a rank of second lieutenant. Our unit got assigned to the 390th Square J tail signature, and Framlingham is our base. The 18th mission was to hit Berlin, so we knew we were going to have a lot more opposition from the fighters, German fighters. The next thing I know, guys hit me in the shoulder. He says, "We got to get out. We got shot. We got hit. We're going to bail out." So I said, "Okay." And the next thing I know, I'm shuffling my feet and I drop out. I automatically triggered the lever and opened the door, and I fell out. I was in Stalag Luft 1, was a prison camp for military officers. We did it because it was our mission. The biggest thing is loyalty to your buddy, whether in combat or whatever it is. You got to hold together. Military is one for all for one.